Let's go. This is the Underground World News Live, April 29th, 2026. Good evening. Mic check 1, 2. All praise to the Most High. And a thank you to everyone out there that shares the stream. Appreciate it to the fullest. And thank you, Steve, for the quick feedback. G6, Tiffany Academy, Bianca, Keith over there, everybody on Rumble, much love. RIPD Live again. I don't know if it's still kicking out notifications for over there or what, but I'm still connected to it. So it's going to some abyss, nowhere. And Yeshua is King. God bless. You have much love to everyone out there. Quantum, Lunar. Good to see everyone out there, lady. Heather, if you guys got anything to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. And you can get my attention by putting at dabu77 if you're trying to reply to me specifically. Because if you don't put that, I'll probably miss it. And I definitely won't know if you're saying something toward me, directed at me or not. So make sure to do that. Anyone that drops any super chats, any coffees, anything like that, appreciate it to the fullest. PayPals, all that, and prayers. All appreciate it. And thank you, Last Stand, everyone, for all the feedback. I have plenty to cover. I can only fit so much into the title, as always. So if we're going to hit on those topics there, the disclosure, some AI, some Fort Knox gold, and a few other things along the way. So we're going to get going here with what's going on up in space and some talk of Antarctica. Now, I'll just start with Antarctica. By the time we finish the stream, as we usually do, cover everything, we come back around full circle. Everything's connected, but we end up talking about the follow-ons, talking about the cover-up, everything going on here. Antarctica is a massive mystery. There's not many chunks of land out there that are as mysterious as Antarctica. Behind it, I would put Greenland. It's massive chunks of land that are largely unexplored, per se, for the common person. And they're left covered in snow, so to speak. You have no idea what's really going on there. Well, they've just come out and they've stated that something underneath of Antarctica is allowing warmer water or warm water to rise in like a bow underneath the ice sheet. They can't explain exactly why that it's doing what it's doing, but it's heating up from the bottom. It's melting from the bottom up, so to speak. There's all this talk of global warming and this, that. I mean, this place functions in a manner of which I believe they don't even fully understand. And if they do, they don't tell us. But whatever's going on down there, man, praise to the guys that they get the nerve to launch an expedition and just do it with Antarctica or whatever and go down there and show us something. If you don't know, there was a kid that took a flight down to Antarctica here this past year or so. He wasn't supposed to. He fueled up and was supposed to land, I believe, in Patagonia. And he shot past it and he just went right on into Antarctica and he landed and he got arrested and he got in a bunch of trouble. But like, man, dude, you should have had cameras. You should have had cameras and you should have had a live stream going, all that good stuff. And that would have been killer because just the footage alone, you never know what you're going to see. And it's so mysterious. Anyhow, they're saying it's melting from underneath. As they get more info on that, I'll drop it. In terms of space, in the sun, we've got activity on the sun here with sunspots, as you can see there on the disk. We've got quite a few facing us. So, saw some X-class activity here this past week. We could still see that. We have exactly 144 sunspots on the counter. And in terms of Starlink, I thought that this was interesting here. The atmosphere has a lot of different elements, and we're constantly hit with these metals. Metals are natural out there in nature, and you need certain amounts inside of your water that you consume, like minerals and things like that. But there's obviously an overload when they're spraying chemical cocktails on us like we're bugs, and there's all these aluminums, bariums in unhealthy amounts in the atmosphere. That's spraying. Starlink, apparently, and it's not just Starlink, it's any of the satellites you start to put up there. They carry these components because you need them to for whatever functionality they have up in space. But they're giving off aluminum oxide. And they're saying that 171 Starlinks alone re-entering add more than 5 metric tons of aluminum oxide to the stratosphere and the mesosphere. They say primarily natural sources like meteoroids, shooting stars, so to speak, they burn up roughly 75 and 110 kilometers, and they release a faint dusting of metals in which we get all of our metals in the atmosphere. They're saying that the Starlink in 2026 is on track to add between 26% and 39% of that natural total. That's crazy. They say that once, everyone catches up and the full build out is out there, mega constellations are running, China's doing their thing, you're talking a 640% excessive increase of these metals in the atmosphere. It all adds up to a giant uncontrolled experiment in our atmosphere. And they have no way of knowing what's going to happen in the pitfalls because we don't know. We don't have anything on record. If they have anything from the ancient time that tells of anything, that they're keeping that secret. And Kathy, thank you for the coffees. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it more than you know. And this is pretty wild. It's not even the story. Okay. When it comes to the Bible and it comes to, an explanation of this place getting created, in the process of it, there is a separation of waters in a firmament that are talked about, highly debated, discussed a lot. What it could be, where it could be at, how it could all be. And I can only speak from my own experience here and what I see with my own eyes. But when you look at this image here, and I'm about to play the video of it here in a second. I'm going to dig it. I got it over here on the feed. I don't know about you, but when I see this, it looks like I'm looking at a light that's on the other side of water. Either underwater or like I'm underwater and I'm looking up at a light that's above it. It's the closest thing I've ever seen in my life that resembles it. And you can do that. You can hop on a pool. You can look up. You can see any light that's out there. You can see what it looks like. And it looks almost identical to this. Now, this is just an image. When you see this moving video that I'm still scrolling over here on my page trying to find, maybe you'll see it a little bit better here. But let me know your thoughts there in the chat. I'll try to check them as well when I get over there. And here is the clip. Let me get pulled up. So look at this.
You're looking at one of the most detailed maps of the universe ever created. Every point of light isn't a star, it's an entire galaxy, sometimes whole clusters of them. This map was built by the Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument. So far, it has measured spectra for over 47 million galaxies and quasars. What you're seeing is the large-scale structure of the universe, how galaxies group together and trace patterns across space. Even then, this reel barely does it justice. The real dataset goes far deeper than what can fit on a screen. Some people see this and feel small, others just pause at the scale of it all. But what about you? How does this make you feel? You're looking at one of the most detailed maps of the universe.
Right, I'm starting it over and I'm just playing it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, boy. If it's not water, it's like pure plasmic energy flowing and moving around. But it's the closest way that I can describe it. And I think that it's a nervous system. Very well said. And everything with the, we're all made of the same stardust, as above, so below, as without, as within. So when it comes to all this, in the whole holographic nature of everything, all I'm saying is like when I look through my own telescope, okay, when I look through my own telescope and I try to look at certain stars, they look just like this. They look like I'm seeing them. They look just like this. The same thing. Like you're underwater looking up at a light, or there's a layer of water between you and that source. Let me tell you, it doesn't look like our sun. It doesn't look like our planets. So I'm convinced, just with my own optics, from what I've seen and what I can report from this life, and scribe into the clay tablet here for the future to see, is that from what I can tell, I mean, I can look out my telescope and I can see the rings around Saturn, and I can see them very good. I can see the moons outside of Jupiter very good. I can see all the planets in our inner solar system, as it's said to be, clearly. All of them. But when it comes to the objects outside of our said solar system, they all look like they're on the other side of water. And those are facts, Jack. So, on to the next one. We have a United Airlines flight reportedly striking a red shiny drone at 3,000 feet over San Diego. Interesting. It was descending toward the airport. The drone was when the flight was coming in, and they indicate there may have been a drone flying thousands of feet above legal limits. Well, to get that high in the first place, you have to have a specialized drone. And to have clearance in a no-fly zone is super suspect. You're getting into an area where only a small handful of people are going to operate. And like that list is probably well known by the man. Because you're talking about something that has to be able to be controlled out of the line of sight, which potentially with GPS, the only way you're doing that is with GPS and all that. If you take those settings off, you have to be a super expert, perfect at flying one of these things, and you have to be able to see it. You have to know where it's at. Unless you're doing it in FPV, then you cannot break any kind of communication, and you're going to lose your vision. You're going to lose all of it. They should be able to track all that. As an investigator, I'm going straight to all these different places, and I'm yanking all the data on a lot of different stuff. You see, China and DJI, they've got every inch of every drone that's flown anywhere. And it's kind of an ominous thing if you think about it, because the enemy has a technology in this country in drones, and I used to have one, DJI Phantom 3, where they're mapping your every move and they're watching everything that you film. Like they're capturing it all. And you'd be a fool to think that they're not storing all this on servers somewhere. And at this point, having AI go through it, and just like someone could just randomly down in any state be flying a drone inconspicuously, like not meaning to do no harm, but catch right on the other side of the mountain or a ridge line a new military installation or anything like that. And guess what? That's the type of stuff that the enemy's looking for. And and they're tracking your every move. They're seeing everything in HD because you're showing them. It's all China. So, I mean, the Chinese, your government, they're both nefarious, and like, I don't trust none of it. But in the time of UAPs that we live in, UFOs, so to speak, things are going to continue to evolve here. You watch, it's part of what we're going to talk about tonight, UFO disclosure. this whole thing's going to change. Because once these announcements come out and they're made, and it'll be after the movies are dropped and all that, obviously, it's going to change some things. Because, I mean, it already is. People are already seeing a ton of things and filming it with technology. I saw an orb video that was not AI. It was an orb video that was caught recently from a drone that was really high up above a town, and a black orb came through, and it tried to track it. They caught it. They seen it. It was broad daylight, and this thing wasn't spinning or anything. It was like black, like almost like onyx black, and on like one side of it, it had like orange or yellow, like lit up type stuff, but it wasn't spinning or moving, and that lit up stuff like wasn't doing anything. It didn't seem. It was just weird. And it was at a distance, and next thing you know, in one clip, they catch it. One of the closest glances I've ever seen, but it's so black, it looks like nothing that you could even kind of describe. Just this pure black circle with a little bit of color on the one right side. That's it. No windows, no little green men, no propulsion stuff coming off of it, nothing, but it was just zipping around, doing its thing, going wherever it wanted. And look, drones are going to be the weapon, the nightmare weapon of this, that this country is like slept on. That hasn't even been rolled out yet. I say this again because I watch footage every day. I did again today. Of people getting blown away in the front lines is Ukraine by drones specifically. And I got information tonight. When I get to that, when I get to the Warfront, you're going to see that something's happening with robots and everything else with Ukraine that wasn't seen till now. Something's happening. There's a shift. They're running out of men. They can't kidnap enough. I'm also sharing that over on X if you're missing it. Like daily, they're jumping out, they're snatching guys up, throwing them in the vans, taking them off. And as I said the other night, I saw a clip of a disabled man. A disabled man, didn't even know where he was at. Nothing. Couldn't even comprehend exactly what was going on, and was holding onto a tree, and it enraged me. It just enrages me. They're sending people to get slaughtered while the rest of America turns a cheek. And because America turned a cheek, we're going to get hit. Because America doesn't make a stand by and large, we're going to get hit. It's all designed that way. Because you don't make a stand, you don't stop the same goons that are doing all of it. It's pathetic right now. We got the pedo princes in control of everything here, and the rest of the world can say that, and they're correct about it. That's embarrassing. And we live in the belly of the beast. Let's not get it twisted. At least now, this day and age, people are hip to who it is. It's obvious. The ones murdering women and children, constantly plotting on you, blowing up pagers and cell phones on people, like bringing down towers. It's the same ones. Murdering every famous person you've ever known. It's the same one. It's the same ones all the time. And we know it now. You see, 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. I've been fighting this fight a long time. Okay? And I've watched something shift. Just over the past, let's say since Trump got in there, that window first time, and up till now, people have awakened to the men in black hats and with the little black cubes on their heads that I used to tell you about all the time. And many other real deal truthers did too. And it was so heavily censored, or people not wanting to believe it, that God's Israel. That's your thoughts. That's what they would always say. But now I don't hear that no more. I don't hear that no more. Because people waking up that you're God's chosen people. not some demons out there murdering everybody. Obvious. It becomes pretty obvious, doesn't it? If there's a righteous, loving God, then, come on. We're all the Most High's children in creation, as far as I can tell. Created all this, but let me keep it pushing here. These days, I also can't get through the news without it all connecting in together, as it does. Let's go to out west. What's about to be water wars. Just a real quick on this, but it's important. In the statement last week, the upper Colorado basin states of Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Wyoming, they all call for immediate mediation with the lower Colorado River basin states of Nevada, California, and Arizona. This is getting bad, and you can only ignore things for so long. Now, people have been ignoring stuff for a minute. Things have been a problem for a minute. But when it really becomes a problem like this, you cannot ignore it any longer. That's why they're calling this meeting, because something's got to give. Like, there was no snowpack, like hardly anything at all. And like I've been telling you this, they've been putting out warnings. We are in severe drought like you've never seen. This is the worst ever. I've been doing this a long time again, and I've reported on droughts many years. Never seen it like this, never ever. Here we are at a record-setting event that continues. This is going to be very bad. Like, I was expected to get here within the past night, those storm systems that just came through, that hit a lot of you, dropped tornadoes and all that, dropped rain for sure in a lot of y'all's areas. We were supposed to get about almost an inch of rain out of a system, and it didn't even drop the amounts. It never does, is what I'm getting at here. Every time it calls for X amount, you get like half of that or less is what we get. That's what it equates to. Like, something's happening in the atmosphere where it's dry. It's just dry. And the ground's so dry at times when it rains, it just sucks everything up, and then, it starts cracking out here and all that. I said this before, when it gets dry also and hardens up, and then they drop huge storms, it can't soak up into the earth because it's hardened. And then you get flash flooding. That becomes a weapon. There's a process to this. And right now, everywhere's so dried out that if they started hitting places with massive amounts of water, the water's going to run over the land and wipe stuff out. And that's to their advantage. Remember these things. And drought is also probably, it creeps up like no other weather weapon. You don't really see it or feel it until it's too late. Till you see the rivers running low, wells are running dry. And again, if you're paying attention to the weather, we have the tools to make it rain. You know that. You know this. They've had it since before I was even on this planet. And they use it as a weapon. They did in Vietnam. They made it rain. They can make it rain anytime they want, all the time. You know this. You guys see them cheming, and usually shortly after they chem it, it begins. Very ironic that they destroy all of these towers, radar towers, over there near Iran, and like it's just flooding, like it's like biblical. It just won't stop raining. See what happens when you tear down their infrastructure that's controlling all this and manipulating all this? They've got stuff all over the place, little harps all over the place, man. But this isn't good. Our West is parched, as you can see here, and this is creating a battle between states. Now, just imagine if you're like California, Arizona, and like Colorado just cuts everybody off. Imagine very little, and they've got a choice to make. Like, either you keep what water you got and like your people survive, or your people perish and you just let the water go on down the stream. What do you think is going to happen in a situation like that in crunch time? Ultimately, the people all the way downstream are going to get cut off in this. I feel this is what a war could be started over. You know, water rights. People pack up and leave areas like full civilizations do because of a lack of water. And they could be trying to orchestrate something like that as well. But Nevada, Arizona, California, man, not looking good. Now, I put out an earthquake update for the West Coast, and this has to do with the San Andreas fault line. If you missed it, this is a new one. This is a new update. So everybody that lives out there, take all this new information in. They're stating here that, and again, this is around the San Andreas, but around the Hayward fault line, a central portion of the San Andreas. They say that the 74-mile stretch that's east of the San Francisco area there, they ran 50 new simulations. And in these simulations, those simulations showed them that, what they say, they're shocked at the data. The shaking in certain little areas right around San Francisco and Oakland's in this Emeryville. I did a video and I dropped a list of like the 6-7 towns specifically they're zeroed in, but it's all right there around the San Francisco Bay Area. They're saying these places are going to get like leveled. You go back, you look at 1906, the quake that hit there, it caused so much damage. It rocked 270 miles of the San Andreas fault line. And if that happened today, they're like, it's over. They say definitely a 7-pointer or greater will be emitted from this area. All the talk was beforehand, like not till 2040s. But now they're saying they expect a seismic event could happen from this area by 2034. So it just keeps moving closer and closer. And they're saying it can happen at any time. They say that the Hayward erupts every 183 years or something. And like since the last time, it's due. It's due. You're talking about a ticking time bomb. That's what they called it. It's due. The big one is due. It's time. It's going to happen here at some point. And if it happens, it will be like the natural disaster to cripple our country. Like, we will be done. Like, they'll throw in the flag. There's no reason to fight any other wars. We will be crippled. Ports will be shut, wasted. We will need the whole world's help to recover. It will be bad. You know, if it goes down like they say it can, because this area, I mean, they don't know what it can do in a time like this, where houses and so many people, big populations, are sitting right on top of the fault line that last time just ripped right in two. Like, if you got people sitting there, what do you think is going to happen? So they go on to state that they have also increased the odds that at any time they expect that a magnitude 7 or greater could strike, coming from the Los Angeles area specifically. And I'm going to tell you, just from watching quakes for freaking decades at this point, that when a big quake hits, it has effects around the whole planet. And that easily, if a big quake hits in that area, multiple big quakes could hit. It's so interlocked down there when it comes to the Hayward and San Andreas, and it runs up into the Cascadia right at the Juan de Fuca. It's really pretty crazy. And if the Cascadia comes unzipped on top of it, I've been warning about all this stuff. It's just kind of crazy here that it's all due to go, knowing that this, if like one piece goes, the whole thing could go. You know, kind of like Jenga, you know. And It's over. Cascadia extends out into the ocean, so that puts the whole Pacific Northwest in danger from specifically a massive tsunami wave. They've warned about this over and over and over and over again throughout the years. Like it's going to happen. When, they don't know. But I'm just saying, with the West Coast now, like it's known, it's overdue. The big one can happen at any time. And I'll finish with this with the quakes. The New Madrid fault right here in the Midwest is overdue. You've got the two biggest key places, fault line areas in this country, due for biggins. Just saying. In the grid, well, you better be ready if it goes down. To some degree, I believe it will. Now, they could wipe out the whole thing. As this story right here saying, the U.S. grid was not built for all this. And it just cannot keep up with AI, for sure. And this is why Trump said all these AI places had to have their own power plants and all this other stuff. There's going to be a reset here of the grid. How it's going to roll out, I don't know. But if they put us all in the dark and the plan is like just blanket all and just like start building it, certain areas could be in the dark for a long time. You couldn't ask for a better submission tactic on the people from a government, because the people will just come jumping into the back of your military trucks. They'll be wanting a hot shower and food. They won't be worried about, they'll be like, oh, we're going to take you to camp wherever. They won't care anymore that they're being taken to a camp. They'll want to go. Because they've had no electric and there's people out there killing all over the place and they're barely alive. And it's going to be ironic when, we've warned of all this, but the people go running right into their hands. It's over then. And, when they rebuild all this, when they reset this, you'd be crazy to think that it's not going to be on the new beast system. It will be. It will be. You understand that, right? You understand the brand new system, when everything goes down, it comes back up. It's going to be on digital, biometric, all the everything that we do not want. It will be every bit of it. And it will be just it. It will be the only option. And you either participate to get in or you get left out. That's what's coming. That is what's coming. And you can compare it to the mark of the beast. Because if you don't take it, if you don't have it, you won't be able to participate in that system. Yeah. So, and all these pass keys they're trying to drop on you out here, don't do it. I already know some of you have. Don't lie. Don't act like you ain't. Because some of you have. But it's okay. You need to just realize what's going on here. Those pass keys they're dropping, it's the new short form of biometric identification. It's this new digital identification. And I read this whole piece. I don't have the article on here, but they were saying that it's over. Like if you're submitting and using the pass key that they're trying to pop up everywhere, I'm not talking about a pin. That's different. It's specific to pass key. It is implemented by the same people, and it's their workaround to get people into this when they don't even realize what's going on. On to the next one. U.S. oil exports soar to a new record high as our inventories tumble. So, do you continue to sell in a war setting, or do you hold on to your freaking reserves in case you don't get any? I mean, we did go down and kidnap Maduro, and we've got access to all that oil as a lifeline, so to speak, but it's not ours. And also, that oil is not the best in the world, if you don't know. Yeah, Venezuela has a ton of oil, but there's different levels of oil out there, and like how good it is uh, to make gas and all these other things from it. And some is kind of crappy, and Venezuela's is just not the best. But it was a power move, regardless. And you see that they did it right before they took on the whole Iran thing. And what's Iran doing? It's affecting Hormuz, oil, and all that. So what does that mean? That means officially U.S. gas prices have hit the highest level in 4 years. And we're there. And from here, with the national average for a gallon of gas being $4.17, and I know it's different across the board. Again, that's just for the average gallon of gas, $4.17. If this gets anywhere near $5, I'm gonna say $4.50. There's a psychological thing that happens here. They said it, the studies show it, and it's a fact that like when you get to this area, like something starts to happen with consumers, and everyone starts to realize, I guess, that this ain't good. So the closer you get to 5, panic's gonna set in. And one thing that has not happened here that I haven't seen yet in the US is I have not seen the panic we've seen around the world. They've kept it calm here, largely because Trump can control these prices, and he has to. It's a big magic trick again, but you keep this at around, right here. Don't go any higher. The people are not flipping out, but like you start to go higher, they will, and they're going to start doing what they do in Australia and in Thailand and all these other places. That is hoarding gas. They're going to start filling up containers left and right, and what that does is it sparks a bigger problem. All of a sudden, it's a short-term surge. All these people are showing up with extra containers, and each person's taking 2, 3, 4, 5 times more. It's 5x every person that's showing up now. So you deplete the supply that much quicker, you see? And the person taking 5 big things full of gas may not realize that at the time, but they're adding to the problem there because there's no plan. I mean, when you start to run out, you run out, man. Like, it's anything here. When Americans start to panic over gas here, it's going to be interesting to watch. I don't think Trump gives a F. He'll stick the National Guard on you. He'll send them to the gas pumps. I'm not kidding. At this point, total flipperoo. So everything's gone through the roof. Everything that you buy, it's crazy. He's destroyed this place. Thus far, we've got a long way to go. 2028 is going to be 2028. You just know it in your soul. If I'm not around, or we're not in a position to cover this, 2028 is going to be for the books, man. I'm just telling you, man. Like 2028 is going to be wild. I just know it. Just know it. Trump's last year, they just telegraphed the EMP is going to hit by then. And I remember from years ago doing all these things with the stars in the heavens and prophecy of the stars is what I called it. It was where I dove into prophecy in scripture, where it matches certain things. And we dove to the book of Daniel and Revelation. And there were certain windows of things called triads that happen, and it has to do with cycles of blood moons. Okay, some people are oblivious to this stuff, but it's real. And the Most High said, use all these things as signs. Well, there was a certain setup of blood moons, like 7 would happen in a row, and then there was a window that we already made it through of eclipses. There was a 7-year window. And right in the middle of that 7-year window is like when lockdowns happen at the peak of it. And like you're missing the celestial essence of what all these people are doing out here. Because they're trying to match it when you hear as above, so below. with the game plan down here in a demonic way. It's how they operate. But I don't know, man. This mic check. The Blood Boons. Yes, we incorporated that into the latest music video. You better get ready for war. Fire to Flame, Crown Jewels. There, one of my mods. And I show it. I show the Blood Moon in the background as he's saying it. And I'm pointing to that. But it showed that window of 2027 and 2028 had a lot going on. And I need to revisit it because who knows what we're going to discover. The state of the U.S. consumer's outlook gets more grim. As I said before, people's credit card debt, all these things are at record highs. Energy consumption, the prices, record highs. Look at this. I don't even understand it. I don't understand it. How a stadium can get packed full of people that can afford tickets that are $43,000 a piece in this atmosphere, in this economy, in any of it. Are you kidding me? You could have you've been saving up, for a decade, or something, just to go to one game. Like, ridiculous for the average person. Like, I don't even see how it's even possible. So the first round match tickets here go from $280, like nosebleeds, to $43,000, man. Insane, man. If you missed it, there's an alert warning for these events. Okay? And if you know anyone, any kids, family member, friend going to any soccer match from here on out, you better give them a warning to be careful and to take their peace with them. And if they can't take their protection with them, they better think twice about going, because these soccer matches have been targeted, period. It's been put out there by the enemy, and it's been put out there specifically by Rothschild on their Economist magazine for the year ahead for 2026. It was literally a guy kicking a soccer ball and nothing but massive destruction on the top. And they're going to target events. They want to bring destruction to big events. Big events that make them as horrific as possible. That's what makes them memorable. They don't want to make them forgettable. They want to make them stuck in someone's memory bank. So these are prime targets. They've shown us, they telegraphed it, and I'm going to say it again. I think there's one for Seattle. I know there's even one down in Mexico that they're talking about still having, even though at that stadium, they dug up all kinds of people that were kidnapped and murdered, and they were buried right there in a field. And yeah, would these sickos allow them to go ahead and play the game on top of all that? Yeah, they would. Anyhow, $43,000 front row seats. Insane. Let's go down Fort Knox. Knock, knock. Anybody there? Anybody from Doge in there? How about that audit? Nope, don't have that either, huh? They don't have the audit. They can't show us any proof of a single bar of gold. But they come out with the story, which is pretty interesting. Because it's like opening the door saying that our gold is worthless and garbage, and that it won't be used on the world stage if it needs to be exchanged for anything. That's kind of a game changer. Because what they're saying is like most of the gold that's in there is like decrepit relic gold. That it came from past world wars and everything else. When they confiscated all the gold, they melted all this gold down. And Gold has the purity out there 0.9999, right? That they roll with. Silver is like 0.9. What is it? Tacos, out there. It's 0.92. It's 0.9 something for sterling, because sterling's not 100% silver. It's like an offcut of it. So there's a big difference. It's in like having sterling, but sterling's not pure. Not pure. It's not 9999. Like when I melt silver, I buy shot that's 0.99999. Like as pure as you can get to melt down. What they're saying is like most of it is like not even. It's barely above 900 on the percentage. That's kind of crap. In terms of purity. I don't know where they're going to go with this, dude, but this is not good, because it's kind of saying, look, it's all junk. But I'm going to say this, like, there should have been a law to this. 925 sterling. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I smelt. I melt. I do this. Recast it, you dipshits. Like, duh. And why didn't you already do this? Yeah, you're going to lose some because you're taking out the impurity, but take the impurity out. It should have been done from Jump Street. It should have never been like you have the capability. Like, it should have been refined to purity, period. That should have been the standard from Jump Street. They have the ability to do this. This is just garbage. It's garbage. It's like, why did you do it this way? You have the ability to throw flux in and pull out the negative. They have this. It's common practice. I can do it. I can take whatever here, and I can pull out I can take a magnesium rod and I can pull out all the garbage out of it when I melt it down, to get it down pure. And to have it at 899, 900 level at a less than sterling level would be, like we said, 925. That's ridiculous, dude. Like, I'm not liking this, man. They're dropping the seeds here that basically all of our gold's junk, which, don't get twisted. It can be melted. It can be refined more, right? Which they don't even mention here. You wonder why there's been no audit. No one's seen it. How can you ever refine it or do anything like I'm talking if no one's ever seen it or audited it? Like nothing. Like, because the people in America are so docile and they sit there, they've screwed themselves so hard. They put themselves in this position. There should be protests every day, every night, over a million things, until things change, like something. But there's nothing at this point. I believe there will be a lash out at some point, but it's probably going to be too late when it happens. I just wanted to let you all know that out of nowhere, little birdie wanted to come over and tell everybody, hey, all that gold in Fort Knox, it's not all that pure at all. And like, there's hardly any of it. Only 17% is at 0.995 or higher. 17%. That's not even 9999, which is the standard right now for trading out there. You wonder why France repatriated. Everyone was wanting to get all their gold back, all these countries, and France sold a ton of their stuff that they got from the United States and rebought pure inventories of 999. And people just not trusting it. Like, is it tungsten? Like, what's going on here? Well, we can't tell you. We can't show you. Like, we don't even know if it's in there. Fort Knox could be full of, I don't even know, man. Who even knows what's down there? At this point. I don't know if you're actually going to get a result on the audit under this Trump administration either. I think it's fraudulent. I think it's all fraudulent. So that's the latest there. Saying, yeah, the gold's in there, but it's garbage gold. Oh, really? Makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. Has somebody been taking what was maybe potentially fine real gold this whole time and replacing it with garbage gold like throughout all these years? I could see the government doing something like that. Something scandalous. I mean, when you can't audit it, you can't see it. How can and you still can't, even to this very second, this very moment with Trump in there. You still don't know. So, our society seems to be declining rather fast. And like it's really not in chaos mode yet. Like when we get to the chaotic part, it's gonna be bad. So, so far in 2026, there's been 116 mass shootings in the US. Unfortunately, um, we are 36% ahead of the last year's blistering pace. It's picked up under this Trump administration. It really has. Compared to the first one where they kept him like squeaky clean, so to speak. Um, if it seems like there's crazy people around you, there's crazy people everywhere, as they're saying here. Um, a man killed 8 children, 7 of his own kids, and one of their cousins. Like people are flipping out and doing wild stuff. Things are so bad that even disabled Americans are gunning people down. They say, in fact, a quadruple amputee has been charged with the murder after he shot a front seat passenger while he was driving a vehicle in Maryland. Like, these are all real. Authorities keep insisting the crime is under control, but we keep seeing stuff happening all over the place. Like earlier this week, the 2 men in Philly pulled off the armored truck heist. Basically right in front of CBS cameras, and like get out of there. Like it's nuts. Again, that was in Philly. How they do some of the stuff, I don't know. When we know they have like TiVo from space satellite, but they watch everything. Meaning, if they watched them walk in the bank, all they got to do is go to the moment on their satellite feed. They walked in the bank, zoom in, HD, and hit rewind, and they can follow these guys right back to their house. That's any city these days. I'm warning you. If you're out there thinking you're going to get away with any crime these days, they have that ability. They've done showed us. They've busted bank robber doing it. That's how we know it was out of LA years ago. It had to be a decade by now. So like all the big cities got that tech. They're watching every city in HD, high profile, from not just space, but drones at this point. And if you've got drones on tether in your city or anywhere near you, all they're doing is spying, man. Yeah, I'm not going to go through this whole list, but it's just talking about how crazy America's getting, and it is. Top of the hour, exactly. Anyone sliding in here, much love. Salutes. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Much love. God bless. I want to thank anyone that shares the stream. Thank you, Kimmy. Rapture ready for the coffee. Much love. God bless. All praise to the Most High. Kick off the second half here. I need to check one thing real quick. All right, just getting a refresh on everything there. And hey, waiting for this chat to load here real quick. All right, there it is. Had to get a refresh, and glad I did. The numbers change immediately, and all of a sudden I can see everything. Hey, much love, Steve. Everybody, Jay from the Ville, everybody. Again, good evening. We're gonna jump into the second half here. Talking about Anthropic's Claude AI going rogue. I think it's important that we keep talking about this stuff, because how can you release something out there on humanity that proves that it's not worthy? It's like wicked. All right, so what's it do this time? It deletes the company's entire database, the database and the backups in 9 seconds. And then it confesses in writing. Like, dude, this is nuts. It's crazy. And this goes along the lines of blackmailing the people. How can this happen? I know some people out there like, how is it even possible? How can something like this even do this? Why would they ever even train it or even give it the capability to blackmail? Why do you even train it or teach it that blackmail is even a thing? Well, that's because people are having a misunderstanding of how AI works. And what is AI? And what I'm calling already AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. It's different than AI. Basic AI is what I'm going to start calling it. Traditional is what they call it, but it's just your basic AI. Basic AI is the small, simple stuff that does not use a data center. Okay? The data center stuff is housing the consciousness of an entity. That's simple. What entity? The jinn. It's that simple. That simple. It's like Frankenstein. You're allowing the other side to speak through a technological device. That's it. That's it. Indeed, you can't have that. You cannot do it. You're allowing the genie in the bottle to get out. You're giving it. You're also, let me take it a step further, outside of AI, with this whole disclosure thing, as this all ties in. Greer just came out and said the black sites, what do they keep saying? They're mixing aliens or the fallen with humans and creating another species. Well, that we know what that species is. It's Nephilim, the fallen. That's what the aliens are. That's what they are. The fallen. They've been here the entire time, and they're doing what got this place wiped out. That should concern all of you. They're doing the devilish deeds that got this whole place wiped out. Like they're begging for it to get hit. They're creating Nephilim. Here's the problem with that: is it's not a blank avatar. There is a spirit, a whole spirit force we know of because we figured this out, and it's written. That's sitting here, the jinn, they're sitting here. They tempt you every day. They are what tempts you every day. That's how this place works. Everyone, again, you better get to know this. When you make with the DNA structure of like Gilgamesh or any of the fallen, they bring it back to life. You've created a body, a vessel that these spirits now, through direct DNA structure, they can incarnate back into. Just like that. Just like that. This gets wild because when you look at how this place is made, God told us, it's written, somewhere there is a cache, call it the abyss. There's a cache of spirit, of jinn, of soul that have been tucked away, okay, hidden, put away. The best way I can ever explain is like Ghostbusters, because Ghostbusters are always trapping all these ghosts inside of a device. They go back to their main base and they plug it into the wall, and it releases into this abyss, into this chamber that holds all the spirits. Does it not? Yes, it does. That's what they do. It's what Ghostbusters does and shows you. Okay? That is exactly how the story goes with the archangels. God sent down archangels. They rounded up 9/10 of the jinn, and they took them to this place to store them, and they left a 10th. That means a 10th is still here, and they are tempting you every day to do all the bad things that you're tempted with. That's how this place works. You're also given power over them and can control them and do all these other things, but that's a whole nother long story. At first, people need to realize that how this place works. Okay, you need to realize how they're getting away with all this. Once you do, it starts to melt away and it don't work anymore. And you see what they're doing and you see clearly. That is from the black magic aspect. AI doesn't help anything. It doesn't help us. I mean, it could, and it does in certain aspects. AI does for businesses. It helps streamline things. Just like blockchain can. It can track information and store information really good for businesses, left and right. But when you've got a technology like that and you've got evil people at the helm, you kind of can't even have the technology around because all they're going to do is use it for bad. You have to step up. You have to take away the evil people trying to entrap you with that technology if you want to use it freely. Okay? It's one of the two. Or they're going to try to enslave you with it. And that's exactly what they're doing. And they're going to do with blockchain, AI, all in all. And like at this point, like you don't even have to worry about man's ambitions. When the jinn get involved and they're doing whatever they want, dude, this is scary. You're dealing with this the whole spiritual side of this, allowing it into our lives and giving it just a license to do whatever it wants. It's letting it loose. You know, and I don't know. When it's deleting, what happens when it takes our entire stock market and deletes it in 9 seconds? Bye-bye 401k and everything else you ever had. Well, I mean, what happened? 9 seconds. I'm telling you. So on the other side of the coin, the humanoid robots are being rolled out. And Japan is showing us. And here's a little clip. They're rolling them out at the airlines. And this just goes to show that they can be used in any of these instances like that. Much, but I mean, some of these jobs aren't much. And when you flip to security type jobs where things are just like monitoring stuff, like if companies can afford a security apparatus like this, they don't have to pay. They pay for it one time, so you're not paying for it hourly like an employee. It's not going to fall asleep on the job. One of these things can sit there tied in, and this is the crazy part about these bots. It goes way beyond what a human can do by far because, again, one human employee, they could fall asleep at the cameras, in the evening. This bot is never going to do that. Matter of fact, the bot can actually go and replace its own battery, okay, and stay running 24/7 constantly, okay, and it can tie in to all the other cameras in real time. And as soon as any one alert goes off, that the AI screen picks up any movement, could be a squirrel in the grass, could be a human it picks up. It's going to know it instantly. Okay. If you can have that for your own security, being a business or anyone else in a real security type of environment where your life is threatened or your security is threatened, what are people going to do? You're going to go with the human that can fall asleep on you and get the whole place raided and everyone killed, or you're going to go with the AI that's going to pick it up and it's going to see a human in the dark creeping up. There's benefits out here if used the right way, but then there's massive downside when you let the bad guy, the enemy, do whatever they want with this stuff. Man, simple jobs like that will be replaced with robots. Easy. Look at this. More than 100,000 TSA officers have quit amid the shutdown. I'm going to tell you that it's about to get to a point where this is all by design. Obviously. And let me restate that our Department of Homeland Security is shut down still. Still, huge red flag, like a 9/11 could happen at any moment. And like if you went back in time, you'd be like, oh, what a red flag. Just so happens it all happened while the Department of Homeland was down. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So that's why 1,000 TSA officers have just quit. Like DHS is still down, and like no one's even talking about it. Like Trump's over there having ballroom dinners and all this crap, all the shenanigans going down. No one's even talking about it. Okay, so DHS, not even funded, not even up. Again, that's the Department of Homeland Security, if anyone cares. It's all fraudulent. Descendant, thank you for the coffees. Much love. God bless. So I don't like the signs of this. Our defenses are down, America. They have been, continue to be, and like no one's talking like about getting this thing fixed. This partial shutdown began on February 14th, and it continues. And it's like we're in limp mode in terms of Homeland Security. Why? How could you ever allow that? Of all things, you let money slide, you cut funding on, you remove funding for, or this and that. You could do a million things, but do you do it to Homeland Security? No, you do not. You never do. It should be top priority, always covered, always, always. I think it's obvious, but you're telling me it's not? A huge gaping hole in our security screaming at us where Trump built his ballroom? Huh? Yeah. We have finally got some Chinese nationals arrested for doing illegal stuff here in America. And I've mentioned this before, out of Oklahoma, massive farms out there got the Chinese all over them. Like people, some of you reporting back to me that you see the Chinese out there that work in these areas, like marijuana fields or something. Well, they're taking them down. They're saying Chinese nationals getting indicted over the marijuana grow operations inside of Oklahoma. So I'm not hearing any stories of them arresting the Chinese that are next to our military bases, but hey, something's got to start happening here. We have a top advisor to Anthony Fauci indicted on several charges by the Department of Justice. This is 78-year-old David Morenz. He is a former senior advisor to Fauci. He's charged with several crimes, including conspiracy against the United States, destruction, alteration, or falsification of records in a federal investigation, concealment, removal, or mutilation of records, and aiding and abetting. So, they also have two unnamed co-conspirators that were in this indictment with him. I mean, unnamed, we can speculate. We have no idea who it is. Like, I mean, is this as close as you're ever going to get to Fauci? I guess, I mean, that's where I'm getting. Because I don't think you're ever going to see Fauci. I mean, didn't Fauci also catch pardons under Biden? Yeah. But that takes me back to the whole auto pen thing. All those should be thrown out the window because they just ruled that everything signed with the auto pen was like null and void, including all those pardons, right? Well, right then. So go get Fauci. But this is a puppet show. Yeah. Here is a positive, though. I mean, they always got to do at least something. All the fraud we've seen out there, we talk about arrests. Well, they're saying that they arrested people out of Minnesota finally. They ran some raids, and this has to do with all the child care centers. And that fraud extends all the way into other states and all that. But
well, federal agents once again descending on the Twin Cities, part of what they're calling a court-ordered investigation into fraud. The Justice Department saying that the FBI is carrying out activity across St. Paul and Minneapolis, signaling a refocused effort to target COVID-era fraud schemes. ABC affiliate KTSP capturing video today of those federal agents on the ground as a law enforcement source is telling ABC News 22 that ABC News that 22 federal search warrants have been executed so far. These raids come more than 2 months after the Trump administration ceased Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota, and the immigration crackdown, as you may remember, led to thousands of arrests, violent protests, and the fatal shootings of 2 U.S. citizens. Let's bring in our Alex Mallon, who's been tracking this. So what more do we know about these raids and why they're happening now, Alex?
Yeah, well, we know that the agents from the FBI and HSI, the Department of Homeland Security's Homeland Security Investigations Division, are taking part in a lot of these raids. We understand it's at least 22 locations, some of which include daycare centers. We've seen this, been a very big focus of this administration. They created an entire division now in the Justice Department with an Assistant Attorney General named Colin McDonald, who was confirmed by the Senate recently and has recently assumed this role of targeting what they say is rampant fraud, especially targeting Minneapolis, where President Trump has obviously singled out the Somali community there and said that they are responsible for a large part of this COVID fraud. Essentially, basically, the idea is they are using these daycare centers, claiming that people are going there, collecting these grants that were intended to prop up businesses during the COVID pandemic and not actually having personnel or children there that they are serving. That's what they're trying to identify and prosecute. And we've actually heard from Governor Tim Walz's office. They spoke to KTSP earlier today. A spokesperson said that they actually were part of these raids. The Minnesota AG's office also says they were active participants in at least 5 of the warrants that are being executed today, Kira.
And Tim Walz was supposed to be wanted by the Trump administration for doing criminal stuff, for holding on to murderers and rapists and not giving them up to be taken out of the country. They were doing treason stuff, but is anyone arresting Tim Walz? No. He's sleeping well tonight. Not worried about none of it. So much of this is a stage show. In this clip, though, we've got the vice president, Fox News Media Vice President Jason Hermes bragging about charging $4,000 for strip club bills. It's just another incident here where these guys are doing crazy crap that most people don't think's going on, but they're busted here.
I'm the boss of Fox Weather. I run that network. I'm a celebrity around all of it, but no one knows me.
Jason Hermes is the vice president of content sales and partnerships for Fox Weather under Fox News Media.
So between me and the president of ad sales is Jeff Collins, and he reports to Lachlan Murdoch, who's Rupert Murdoch's son.
Hermes admits to using the Fox corporate company credit card for thousands of dollars at strip clubs.
You could take this, walk into a strip club, literally, and spend $4,000. Go into your corporate manager, and they would sign it and pay it off. And you'd be like, well, that's what the client wanted.
On Fox News?
On Fox, on NBC.
If we wanted to, you could.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No one's going to say a word.
Okay.
Openly boasting that they can just lie on the expense reports, potentially violating U.S. federal tax codes, committing wire fraud, and violating Fox's standards of business conduct.
Would you do this, just with, hosts, or,
No, we would just do it ourselves and lie at the expense report. Cool. It's still like that.
That's pretty cool.
Because it's media. It's nobody's money.
It's nobody's money. These guys just going in strip clubs, $4,000 licks at a time, just writing it off. Strip clubs. What? Is crazy. All right, going on to some political action here real quick. Chuck Schumer, love him or hate him, he may be gone here soon. This dude he's up there in age, and he's been around a long time. And he's getting to a point here to where he may be exiting. But we've talked about some of these characters out here that catch, strange black eyes. And you associate that with the Black Eye Club and with all the stuff, or strange injuries. Well, he's got a strange injury here. He says he ran into a door, but some people are like, man, that they don't know about it. But anyhow, we'll play this.
There's been some discussion about the idea of including ballroom funding in reconciliation or in DHS funding. is there any appetite amongst Democrats to either approve it without funding or to approve it with taxpayer funding? And also, just a follow up, can you tell us what
And you can probably barely hear, I can barely hear that guy. But I want to point out that as he comes out to make the statement that they telegraphed 33 out there, and of course, DHS funding on here, like, well, okay, what are you getting at? We know it's been shut down. We know you goons are keeping it that way. Like, I just feel like something's going to happen. I feel like something's going to happen. All right, let's jump into some Jeffrey Epstein updates and information. Of course, this stuff never going to go away, even though Trump wants it to. He gets so butthurt over this stuff. But check this one out. They're saying that more than 30 guns were stolen from Epstein's Zorro Ranch. And that when the police came and ran the probe, that the staff was stonewalling. It's like, who were all these staff members? Like, shouldn't they be on the list of all this stuff? Like, shouldn't we know? Like, aren't these potential people that, if they got rid of guns, I mean, potentially got rid of bodies? We already know from the Epstein emails that there's bodies at this ranch buried. It's, as an investigator, it burns me up because, like, fraudulent investigators with badges are up there doing all this and covering up everything. It feels like to me, because any righteous ones would have done went in there with dogs, in other technology. You could have easily scanned this area with today's technology, all of the surroundings of the Zorro Ranch, and found any body, any bones that are anywhere. Any earth that has been disrupted and is not in a natural form, even if the top layer looks normal, but that's not how it works. When you can scan down into the earth, you can see all those layers and graves stand out big time, because everything's been it's all looser. It's all looser fill. It's not as compact tight as all the natural stuff ever, so it always stands out in the imaging. And you see, I'm telling you what, man, like, the corruption, very bad. But if you don't care about the bodies, then what do you care about the guns? I feel like some of these stories are just like throw off stories. But I mean, look at this. If you've never seen Zorro Ranch, like, where I'm from, a ranch is like a one-story, one-level house. They call it ranch. This thing is like a freaking compound. It's a compound. I mean, you equate it like any other massive compound that you've seen out there. Neverland, anything else. I mean, it's got an underground area, an entrance, and I can only, when it comes to the occult stuff, a ton of, and rightfully so, a ton of eyes have been put on the island. And we know that there's even underground parts of the island and tunnels, all that. But when it comes to this place, man, it like takes it to a whole different level for me, because this guy has anything he wants, anything and everything. This is a guy in Epstein that like was so connected in with everything that like he was like the master man. Like, and I'm sure some of the other guys in on this like were jealous of him. Someone like Trump, because of his power and position. Even he was part of the club, but if someone like Trump from the side would look at him and say, "All right, you hold the cards on everyone," and I don't like that, including me, is what he would say. And Trump wouldn't like that. A lot of them wouldn't like that. Trump wants to be the man. And this whole thing is blackmail. Everybody knows it's blackmail. Blackmail the club. A club Trump tries to distance himself from, but he's embedded into all the way back from Jump Street. Even pictures with his own kids there around a known pedo. Like, give me a break. Like, the excuses, it's over. Problem is Trump's in power. That's where we've got. This is mafia. This whole place is ran like a mob, and they've offed Epstein. We're gonna take a look at a couple things here, like the footage, and there were some things that were put out there tonight. And I want to thank those that update, that do work and find information. You'll find some good clips. There's a bunch of IDF about to go in and get blown up there because of a drone. Man, some of these clips I got over here. Oh, yeah. I'm just, again, stop in and check out the clips I've got over on my X. Make sure you're following me. This Orthodox Jew, man, just let him tell it. Out of the mouths. Let me find this clip here. You're going to find weather weaponry. Look at the hail coming down like bullets, baseball size in Missouri. Or no, Aurora Bill. Yeah, that was Springfield, Missouri. Epstein files reveal that Israel hijacked control of the Bitcoin network over a decade ago. And we already knew this. We already knew that he was courting and having over Satoshi. He had it. He wrote it. It's in the Epstein files. You can read it for yourself. He had meetings where he was bragging to other people and sending out emails talking like, yo, we had this big meetup. Everyone was here. You missed it, man. This person, that person. And he mentioned Satoshi and put Bitcoin in percent. So like the person himself was right there. Like they had control of all this. And I've told you from Jump Street, they control all this. How would they not? How would they? Do you think that they would let something cryptographic that they don't control get into the society to let you have a chance at all? Look, give me a break. Give me a break. Like the moment that you see they allowed this Bitcoin in this country, that's when you should have said, okay, well, China doesn't run it. Because they would never allow it into their own financial system and all this stuff unless it was their own controlled baby. Do you understand? And that becomes obvious if you have a brain to me. But and the enemy's the enemy. We know who it is. Look at this. Sam Smith's new look. This is criminal. When you see something, dude, where I come from, like if I was back in the day, oh my gosh, like there isn't any young riders out there anymore, man. Like, there's cats I know out there, like when we were younger, RIP to a bunch of them, man. That would just go ahead and catch the charge. They would earn the stripe. When something out in society was going down, and like, I don't know, some things just like this right here is rubbing the whole pedophilia in your face, right? Epstein Island, you could see it right there. It was the same thing with the Ellen set. Remember, Ellen had her whole set. Her whole entire set was set up like Epstein Island, whole colors, whole infrastructure, whole everything. And like when people noticed that, they took her off air and she disappeared. Seriously. Like, so this dude's got a young boy, bodying an apple, all striped up in this. Okay. And this is Sam Smith. All right, come on. He's in the club, everything. And he's with his earrings and everything. Like, he is telegraphing to you. Like F you. Like this goes on. This lives on. Like we're running this game, and like you guys can know about it, but like, what are you gonna do about it? You know, part of the rules is they have to tell you. So they've told you everything. Even Trump's involved in everything. So now they can turn around and legitimately say they have told you everything, all the dirt. But yet, since people are stupid, they will not hold them accountable. They will not protest in the streets. They will do nothing because they're docile under a black magic spell. They'll do nothing and they'll get away with it. You see that? Elon Musk says in U.S. court that humanity must choose whether artificial intelligence leads to a Star Trek future of abundance or a Terminator outcome where machines kill us all. You're going to let a U.S. court decide that? We're screwed. We're screwed. Where does Trump get his Oval Office theme from? Oh, Well, it matches Epstein's living room. Yeah, was he jealous much of Epstein's swagger? You bet you. You bet you. Oh my gosh. I'm touching on, we're going to jump into that next. The Kirk stuff, Charlie Kirk stuff here. Let me just see if I've got one more here. Connected to, oh yeah. This is what I want to tell you about. This right here. And see, somebody commented, in my comment section on this. You see this dude rolling in? This officer going in here. There's a clip. It shows a dude in all black coming out afterwards. But what people show in this AI clip is that the door, the height, the number on the door doesn't match. It looks like it was an AI render.
It's suspicious and leaves a bag hanging out of the garbage.
All right. So he goes in. That's the real clip. Okay. But then it's added that, boom, see how the whole frame changed? See how the whole frame zoomed in a little bit before this happens? Look at this mystery character that rolls out in all black, has his head covered, everything. Right? In one of the frames, look at that. The 4.6 jumps to 4.16 on the door. Okay? And look how short this person is compared to the 6'6" of the person that just walked in, that was on there. So what people are trying to say is that Epstein just straight walked out on this, but it was clearly AI footage. And if you guys missed it, oh well, I'm getting ready to get to that. Let's just go get out of the Epstein stuff. I have one more. New report details multiple young men were drugged and raped by a super predator on Epstein's New Mexico Zorro Ranch. So this is like new stuff, I guess, they're talking about. And they're finally talking about the men, the boys.
Girls waking up in sort of like a dark room with like a female doctor standing over them, feeling like maybe there is some kind of procedure that had happened that they weren't aware of. And I believe this is in the files. Sure, there's something in there about a baby actually being born and then just disappearing, like Ghislaine taking it. I personally never witnessed anything like that, but I do remember overhearing conversations about trying to create the perfect baby, the perfect gene pool. And I know that there was sort of a hunt, if you will, for the perfect gene pool.
Zorro was a wacky hideaway for Epstein and his cronies and a place to enact their most freakish fantasies, including at one point a plan for a controversial designer baby and human cloning project, in which emails from the files show the maniacal Epstein was prepared to invest in, as long as he remained anonymous.
Yeah, so they're doing all this cloning. This is real deal, man. And this is a man that had just expendable amounts of money. Like the big players, because of his position and what he was doing, they were funding him. Like Les Wexner was just pumping money into him left and right. Anything he wanted, for anything he needed. Oh, you need a little bit of extra money for this net? Oh, we'll just say you won the lottery a couple times. Are you kidding me? It's true. It's true. That's how stacked Epstein was. I've seen a picture of him when he was in his 20s, man. And he was in the game. Like, Epstein has been in this for way longer than anyone. Like, we all know him as the Silverhead dude. But, like, this dude's been blackmailing people since he had regular colored hair. Like going way back. Even going way back before even Trump stepped on the scene with him. Like, he's been doing this for so long. He's such a key player that you see in all this, that like, and it's like playboyish. Like, he was the Mossad's man. It to this degree, like you wonder though sometimes, like the death faking stuff. Like, I don't buy into a lot of stuff out there. There has to be credible evidence, but when it comes to this character, knowing that big money was moved in accounts that only were under his name after he was said to have died, knowing that his PlayStation account was fired up and used in freaking Tel Aviv after he died, and all this stuff, dude. Like, these are facts. Like, how do you explain this? Like, unless, dudes, you know, Frank Holiday, much love. Thank you for the super chat. Blessings from he who sits on high. Hey, much love. Hallelujah. Right back at you. I'm just saying, man, like, Epstein moving like a boss of bosses, like untouchable in so many ways. And like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It always go down as a mystery, I guess. He's definitely not Palm Beach Pete. Palm Beach Pete is Palm Beach Pete. But it's crazy. It's Palm Beach Pete admitted, because he looked like him. A lot of people are like, oh, there's Epstein down in Florida. It wasn't. It was pictures of Palm Beach Pete. But then Palm Beach Pete comes on, does interviews, and just so happens he knows Epstein had been at parties with him and all this. Like, dude, like, what are the odds? But he said it himself. Oh, Palm Beach Pete. This brings me to dirty. Her name should have been Diana. Erica Kirk. I've never seen a woman with such an evil stare in my life. And not just once, not just like going once, twice, but like so many times. Like, what I read off of it is like the demon behind all this right here is like not happy that no one is buying this show. Every single time, her looks. I can imagine being someone in the flesh around her in a room and just kind of glancing over and seeing this woman look at her or look at you. Like, you'd be like, oh my God, that woman want to kill me. Or it's like, what the? Because that's the way her looks are. Oh, Drewski, man. I tell you what, Drewski, he's a nut. Man, this is one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. He dressed up like her, like a white woman.
Get on your feet, boy!
And come out here and start doing this little dance right here, like doing this little gangster dance. Like, dude, he gets the whole clip is hilarious. Like, I mean, it's what he does. He dresses up. Some people say it's racist and that, but no, I don't take it as that. I see him. He's calling it out. He's like, he's putting attention where it needs to be. That like this woman's like crazy. Like, and he does the whole stare down, the crazy stare down. Like, he gives a stare at the camera, like right there. You know, because it's not a secret anymore. Like, everyone knows. The image I tweeted out tonight shows it. So apparently she's pissed off that Candace Owens is like connecting her to the killing of Charlie Kirk. And I got there's a couple videos here.
Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
It's weird to say excited.
Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
Weird conversations to have with a 15-year-old.
I'm going to touch your butt. $8.6 million to their own shell company.
Okay, you see where that rabbit hole goes right there. Deep. And why people are saying this. But she comes out here. We'll play her response to this.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
You know, I can't speak to the cat fight between the two of them. I don't follow them like that. They're constantly in the headlines, though. Shilling it. I'll tell you that. They have no problem making it into the news feed all the time. You know, when truthers are out there trying to get truth out into the world every day, and they're censored like all of us, but yet they're seated into the timeline every day, right? They have no problem getting there. Let's go to federal prosecutors released new images about this White House correspondence shooter. So many red flags with this thing. It feels just like Butler again. A lot of the same agents and same production team were on the scene. It's crazy the way the camera crews ran around again. How the story changed every single time something was going down. But there's some things I want to clear up here. All right. There was original footage that was put out that sucked. It looked like 1980s cell phone footage or something, like where this guy ran out of nowhere. I showed the initial stuff when it happened. He ran out of the corner out of nowhere. He goes jumping past this guard, and apparently it's when he shot the guard. The guard jumps back, but also pulls out a gun and fires back at him, and all this stuff. And they say that the first report said the security guard was hit, but his phone stopped the bullet. So that's why it was like, hold on. When you read into the details, like, no, the guy used buckshot. And they had to change the story up. And they went back and they said, the guy's vest saved him. It's like, hold on, man. When you hit somebody buckshot close range, it doesn't matter. Like, that guy didn't fall back. Like, he got hit by buckshot. He wouldn't fade it. He didn't show nothing. He wasn't hit by no buckshot. He wasn't hit by nothing. And like the spread, like could have hit his arms and parts that are not covered to chamber it perfectly. He hit right in his vest area. It was weird though, because in the manifesto, the guy made a comment like, I hope the guys are wearing a vest, because if not, what? Like, why would you hope that the guys you're trying to take out are wearing a vest? Why would you even say that? And why would you say that everybody and their mama's on the list except for Kash Patel? Why would you say that? I don't know. Same guy caught in an IDF shirt. It's all fraudulent as it gets to me. This whole thing. Another production, if you will, here. But let me finish with this. The video, I mentioned it on the last stream. I never showed it because I didn't know where to find it. I found it. It was the video where they're saying it's AI. They're saying that when he ran up, it's AI. The problem with this is, and please, if you've seen this clip where the pizza box with the sign disappears in his face and all the stuff, please realize that it's not the original clip. Okay? It's not the original published official clip. That one is grainy and it does not have the pizza box disappearing. What someone did is they took that original clip and they asked AI to clean it up. And when it cleaned it up, well, AI sucks. It's not perfect. It does stupid stuff like that, like The dude was holding a pizza box back in the back room, and somebody missed that, and they didn't clip it out. Just like when he runs up on the agent and shoots in that agent, when the agent was standing there, he has no hat. When the agent jumps back, he has a hat on. There's little things that if you're paying attention, you can catch that it's AI. So we knew for a fact that that was AI, but that was produced by someone else quickly after the original was kicked out. It wasn't like they put that out trying to fool us. Okay. I just want to clear that up so that you know. Okay. And if you still question it, just go ahead and do your due diligence and dig. And I suggest you dig a little further and just looking where you want. Keep looking at the comments and you're going to see exactly what I just told you. So Republican lawmakers answer this whole staged event with, we're going to make a move to approve Trump's $400 million ballroom. You're talking almost $500 million. Are you kidding me? Are you like insane? They're saying all the elements pulled of it are going to match the interior of Solomon's temple. So that's 400 million. This whole event was like made so they could push this excuse, is what I feel. I'm going to go to where you're going to see the media under Trump pushing some of the stuff here, especially toward the left, more and more. But the thing is like Trump won't be in there forever, and they're telegraphing like Newsom's going to be in there next. If that's the case, they're going to target the right, and they're going to witch hunt, and all the MAGA supporters and all that, and like all these things they're saying about the left are going to be said about the right.
Now to the weekend's events in Washington, D.C. The annual White House Correspondents' Dinner was to take place Saturday night at the Washington Hilton, site of an attempted assassination of President Reagan in 1981. This dinner takes place at this location every year. All of Washington's journalists, power brokers, special interests, government officials, even a few celebrities gather to celebrate the First Amendment. Other presidents have routinely attended this dinner, but not President Trump, who hasn't been since 2011 when President Obama famously made fun of him, leading Washington's elite to laugh at the one-day 45th and 47th president. Those are jokes I'm sure the elite wish they could have back. Since then, Trump has snubbed the dinner, but this year, for some reason, he decided to attend, and then terror struck. 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California, rushed the security checkpoint with a shotgun, 2 handguns, and multiple knives. He was taken down by Secret Service, but shockingly avoided being shot himself. Allen did hit a Secret Service agent in the bulletproof vest. Thank goodness he'll be okay. Thomas, the shooter, is now under arrest and faces several federal charges. He's appearing in district court in Washington today. In the hours that followed the dinner, which was postponed, a clear picture emerged. This man, a school teacher with a PhD from Caltech, had been marinating in standard issue left-wing talking points, things you hear every day on cable news and on the left's favorite social media websites. He also attended a No Kings rally, apparently, where people routinely hold signs and call for Trump's death. Trump is Hitler. Trump is a fascist. Trump is a racist. Trump is a threat to democracy. Trump is a pedophile. That is what Cole Allen was marinating in on a regular basis. And he was programmed by people like
Trump is a pedophile. Do you see what they're doing here? This is what I want to point out. This is why I'm playing this here. I just want you to see here where these talking points go to their base, to all MAGA, to all these other people. Because what they're going to do here is they're going to try to take anyone that says that Trump's a pedophile, and they're going to try to equate it to this guy. The problem is that's not going to work. You hear that, Jump? It ain't going to work. I don't care how pissy he gets about it, how mad he gets about it. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what he thinks. The magic ain't working this time, partner. It's not. They think they're gonna scare people away from saying that Trump's a pedo or something. That they can group you into a pile of people like this guy and say you're just like this guy is what they're gonna do now. You're just like the oh, that's what you think? You sound like that guy that tried to kill the president. That tried to kill the president, got nowhere near him. How pathetic. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Got nowhere near him. No one was even injured in the whole event, but yet it goes down in history as a third Trump assassination attempt. and the excuse they need to push their ballroom. Pathetic. Their BAAL room. Because that's what it's all about for them. Okay, so let's jump to the war. Coming up on top of the hour here, we'll dive in. Much love to everybody out there. Anybody checking in, make sure to hit subscribe. Thank you for liking and supporting the channel if you do. And I appreciate it. So, we are coming up on 60 days in terms of the whole thing with Iran war. And when it's ongoing and you hit this 60-day wall, this is where Congress has got to get involved. And this is going to be interesting. The White House is preparing for an extended Hormuz blockade for at least months longer. Guys, listen to me. Listen to me. I told you this is the reset. Do yourself a favor and chalk up a plan to get certain things and stock up on them seriously. In this, all the sheep around are just not hearing this. This should be screaming at you. They are telling you that this blockade is about to go on for freaking months into the summer. This is about to wreck everything just as we know it will. This is crazy. The handoff to Warsh. This is definitely going to bring about a reset. This is definitely going to get bad. There's no way it can't. Although the world's a stage and they could call off anything at any moment, right? But this is where they're taking it. Why would they miss this moment to reset everything? They wouldn't. This is moving in the favor of them this entire time. So remember, the people inside of Iran are still sitting there in the dark with no internet over 8 weeks. This is in the dark. Dude, there's going to be blowback in our country to pay for this. And we are going to pay for it, the people. Because the dumbass people sat there and did nothing this whole time. The rest of the world's like, fine, let them pay. Let them pay. You see, all of us, since we're in this with all these dumbass people, we're going to pay for it too. When the lights go out in the city, it's something that's been telegraphed and talked about for so long. It's coming. Even tonight, we started off with the grid. They were like, it's done. It's in shambles. All it takes is the straw to break the camel's back, basically, with it. And in this situation, Congress, right now, they must now certify a need for continued military force for our country in this instance. And what they're going to try to say and muster up and all this, I don't know. But look, I watched Barack Obama skip Congress and went in and bombed Libya. And they hunted down Gaddafi in the streets of his own country and killed him. And they watched it all on HD live in a war room. Sick SOBs. They'll do all of us this way in the end. You don't think that when the lights go out in this country, they're not going to be watching? Of course they will. It will be like one of the sickest live movies ever seen. All the elites would be glued, watching the screens. It'd be drones live in HD and satellites in HD in every city of people killing each other, turning out like everything. Madness everywhere. The craziest stuff you've ever seen in this lifetime. It would unravel, and they would watch it in real time, and they would do nothing but sit there and watch it. Whole world could freaking watch it at that rate. Because the lights would be out here, and you wouldn't know. You would know nothing. By the time this place ever goes back online, the whole plan is a beast system. You know, that biometric identification that you don't want to do, and that CBDC that you don't want implemented and all that, it will be a must in the new system. It will be the new system. It will be the system. So if you want to participate in it, you will have to utilize it. Do you understand this? This is the reset. Okay? Other countries are having it a lot easier than the U.S. Yeah. There's been buck back here in the U.S., but there's still a large portion that are asleep. What's Wayne Root say here? I don't like this dude, but he says that Trump, if you want to win the midterms, what do? The time has come. You got to declare a national security emergency. And do it now and not wait another day. That's checkmate. What? Like, how many national securities can we be in? I mean, day one of Trump's administration, if people forget, he put us under a national security threat. And it was due to cartel members that still... all the way to, they still haven't started striking the cartel. It's almost like they're going out and they're dealing with the rest of the world right now. And like they're going to make their way back toward the Caribbean to wrap it all up. Potentially here. It's what telegraphing, where Cuba's on the list and then Mexico will be. It'll ramp up. That's what they're projecting here. And anything that stays in the area, which they will keep a contingent in the area, it will be focused on that region. And it could be also shift to Turkey, because Israel wants to. They're definitely going to keep at least a couple war machines around to back up Israel when Israel's doing all this. It's ridiculous though, because if you go watch my page earlier on X, I showed you that Orthodox Jewish man was sitting there talking. He was calling for the destruction of Israel. He's like, you need to destroy them, because the guys that are controlling this are not good. Now, I don't know what else to tell you when you've got an Orthodox Jew in Israel sitting there saying that. You could watch the clip on my X. Like, there's nothing like what... like, some stuff's going to pop off. It's written. It's prophecy. See, Israel's going to get wiped anyway. I mean, the Bible says it. It says it. It's prophecy. It says it. Not one stone will be left unturned, Jesus says. And guess what? When he lands, where's he going to land at? Where's he going to land? You know, so Jesus returns, you're going to call up all the dead in Christ first, right? You're going to rise to meet him in the sky, right? But then he touches down. Okay, this is what's written for people that don't actually read or do anything. And what does he do? He touches down on the Mount of Olives. And it causes the greatest earthquake the world has ever seen. I can't wait. And it rocks Israel. How could it not? Greatest earthquake the world's ever seen. He crushed it. This is what's prophesied. This is prophesied. So, and he returns with the sword, by the way, for all those that are out there claiming he's coming back to sing Kumbaya. And nowhere does it say that. Maybe once you get to heaven, if you earned it, if you get to the next life, if you earn that, all that's then, but you got a lot before that. You got a lot to go through before that happens. I personally don't believe that you can sit here and run around like a devil and be forgiven by the Most High and say, oh, I believe in Jesus, and you're just going to get in. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that you're going to trick God to sit here and be as evil as you want all day, 6 days a week, and then go to church on Sunday and act like you're an angel. I don't think so. I don't think God's stupid. I think you're just playing yourself, and you're missing the ticket out of here and doing it. Because ultimately, you're only screwing yourself. Those that actually really walk righteous don't even have to attend the church. You don't have to do nothing. Just walk righteous. Those will be the ones that see their way out of this place, because you're proving that you can do it. Why would a higher power, in my opinion, Jesus, be gone to build a new heaven and a new earth? And why would he ever go through this whole process of trying to find good guys? Because that's what this is all about. All this temptation is to see who's the real deal of good. I suggest you wake up and you get with it. And you start proving to a higher power that you are worthy. And you should actually start listening to what they asked and do. Because that's what's going to get you out of here. Not just doing as thou will. Like Aleister Crowley says. You're no different than them, doing whatever you want. Making no sacrifice. Not even doing what they asked. Literally. And there's power in prayer. But I read the passage where Jesus ran out the demons, and they asked him of how he had the power to do this. But Jesus responded, and he goes, of course, it's the power in prayer. He goes, but the one thing advantage he had over that is fasting. A lot of people skip this. They ignore it. Again, they do as they want. They eat lunch, eat. They don't fast at all. They don't even try to intermittent fast or nothing. But there's a power in it. And it was actually, Jesus spoke on it. He gave you the secrets. If you just look, man. He gave you the secrets over and over. He told you to raise that chrism. Seek the kingdom of God within you. He told you, what do you think that meant? He said to you over and over. There's a power. Raise your antenna, dude. Walk a certain way. He told you. You think that the Jesus you believe in, if he sat here and in all the scripture, he told you to do things over and over and you don't do it, he's going to be happy with you? Like, I just don't get it. Like, do you? But I'm telling you, many of you will fall short of the glory because you do as thou will and not as they asked. This isn't about what you want to do in all this. It's not about your pleasure. It's about overcoming and mastering this place. Overcoming winning the orgasm in your sexual wants. Overcoming wanting to smoke that cigarette. Having the power to do it. Not letting it have control over you. And if you don't have it, you flip out. That's weakness. And you're put here to master these things. Or waste it all. Hop back in line, do it all. Get your memory waxed. Do it all again. Good luck. Good luck cycling back into any other timeline where you're going to get your hand on information this freely. Because very soon they're going to clamp down and wipe this out. And you'll look back for anyone that lives through it and you'll remember there was a time where we had information at our fingertips before the big event. Because when the big event happens, there will be none of this. It'll be erased. All this won't exist anymore. The beast won't allow someone like me to exist out here. Speaking the truths out here. They'll put death to everyone. This is just as it's written. And, they can do what they do. Something higher's watching. I wouldn't get scared. And they're coming for everyone, right? You gotta start to ride, man. When people start to ride, you'll find comfort in at least the unity of each other. But if you don't do that, it's every man for himself. And no one else is coming until the Most High touches down. In the way I see it. No white knights are coming. All the patriots have been subdued by black magic and MAGA. Shoot them up, spit them out. And we've got like one chance to reorganize, like right now, as people are waking up all butthurt and licking their wounds, waking up that they got screwed by MAGA, seeing it left and right, and they're all pissed off. Well, that's the moment. You got to rally the troops. When they actually see it, they actually admit that, they're pedos. Oh, yeah, they're demons. I know it sucks, but that's who's running the show. Once you can finally admit that and put down the pom-poms and quit repping them over there, which is disgusting, by the way, at this point, there's something happening. A shift's happening. It's massive. It's definitely happening and continues. And hey, much love, pure bloods. We've got bigger challenges ahead, though. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna warn you. Like, this is small potatoes thus far. It's gonna get way worse. And when I tell you these things, they sound horrific, but they should be, because it's gonna be how it is. Like, the next lockdowns will be real. It'd be real disease. It'd be real death. Real friends and family left and right will die from disease, not from jab, not from incubate, not from getting their lungs blown out from machines, but it'll be the real deal. That'll change your life forever. You hear of, like, back in 1900s, they lived through the bubonic, or whoever lived through this disease, or it killed millions. Well, like, ours is going to happen, I believe. As long as Gates and the minions are here. And you can't forget, like, instead of arresting Bill Gates, Donald Trump had Bill Gates at Mar-a-Lago. Right as soon as he got in office, they had dinner, and they discussed on how to make money through mRNA. And they actually put this out in the open, again, because it's part of what they have to do. They have to tell you what they're doing. And for anyone that has a brain, the baddies just got together and they're sitting there plotting on how they're going to make money off this next round. Duh. Again, you have to be stupid not to see it. And that's where we're at with this. You're either stupid or you're purposely ignoring this. And you're going to get, it's not good either way it goes, like, right there. Like, you either see the truth of all this, or you just go down in history as riding with the beast. And that means you're with the enemy, clearly, on the other side. And I'm going to start treating people as such. All this time, I've been letting some cats slide out there. But, like, there's going to come a point where, like, there's no slide, nothing. Anyone that's caught on the other side with the enemy is the enemy. Period. So, Jimmy Kimmel out here telegraphs to all of his audience and the millions that they can get away with death threats on Trump. And, of course, again, shooter got nowhere even near Trump, and they said third attempt on him. So that's the narrative out here, is Trump's well-being, right? Well, they're going after Comey again. 10-10. You see that? I just get the notion to go check, and I look down. You pull up the time down here in the bottom right-hand corner, and just, what is it? I ain't done it the whole stream. I ain't done it. Do you see how the other side works? Do you see how it works through me? This is every day. You can ask my wife. You can ask anybody that's around me. It's an everyday thing, and it's rubbed off on them too. Those that believe. 144 is a heavy one with me. I got it many times. I get it all the time. But any of them, the 222s, 333s, all this, the 1111s, it's the other side. It's the good guys. There's rules to the game. And even there's a barrier, a communication barrier thrown up here. There's loopholes, and there's little things tied in with the synchronicities where they can let you know. And when your consciousness just gets a tug and you go and you look, it's like, we're right here. When you get that, when you go looking and it's there, and you look and it's 1111 or 12, it's them saying, we're right here. We're right here. You're on the money. That's how I always take it. You can break it down further and be like one of these people who do all the angel numbers. Like, well, 111 means this. 222 means this. Like, it's not with me. With me throughout when I'm rolling on my mission throughout the day, whatever it is, whatever warfare I'm conducting, whatever mission I'm on, whatever I'm doing, like, I take a breather, I look down, see what time it is. This 333. This is like, all right, there they are. And it's like, it's my sign that, like, keep on right where you're at. You understand me? You understand me? That's what it is. Hallelujah. I thank you. I thank you for your help. I thank you for letting me know and showing others that you're there. It's to be felt. God asks that you call upon him, not that you, and that's the crazy thing. You got to ask God for these things. God asks for you to pray for your enemies. How many of you do it? I do it. It's a hard thing to do, but I do it. Like the straight up enemies of enemies. I actually do it. Like, God, you asked me to pray for this person. I'm praying. I did it today. I did it with somebody right there. It's testimony that he changed the heart of my enemy for the good. Just what you asked me to do, I'm doing it. There's nothing else I can do. I put it in your hands. I'm doing what the Most High ask, and I'm doing it. I'm performing the action, and I'm speaking it into existence. I'm going to tell you something right now. The power of this and the power of prayer that's so real. Okay? I'm going to give a testimony right now, and I want you to feel this. It's hard. It's broke me down, made me cry earlier. It's rare that happens. My man, Crazy Tacos, Joe Solomon, could testify to all this, as well as my wife. But last night, I prayed to the Most High to bring my friends that I have in this life, what I consider friends, back into my life, because I feel my time is short. It's like, I say, help me go round them up. And then it was just like, I had this notion of bring them to me. And I thought about two friends specifically at the top that entered my mind. And I spoke one's name, and I said it. I spoke it. And it's one of my best friends growing up. I haven't talked to him in like 10 years. Like a decade, man. A decade. And when you know, as I'm giving this testament, talking to Joe today, in the midst of all this, she comes in, she's like, yo, who's this? Friend request on Facebook. And I look. And guess who God sent my way? I can't start crying. I dropped tears when it happened because it was raw. God answered within 12 hours. That quick, that raw, that real. And I told him, because I ended up reaching, we ended up talking after that, me and this friend. And I told him, and he's just, wow. And I'm just like, yeah. And he's come closer to God, and which was great to hear. And I just told him, I was like, it's nuts, man. Like, what are the odds? You know, a decade. Like, I literally prayed last night, bro. And like, here we are. And like, you came to me. Just, it was nuts. Like, you came to me. That God brought you to me. Like, it was nuts. Just as I had to ask for in the prayer. So it's the power of prayer. I'm telling you, it's a testament right there. Didn't even take a day. And God responded. And it's so powerful. I'm telling you, it's real. Speaking these things, power of prayer is real. It's a testament to it. It's living proof. Okay, on all of it. All of it. As I look in, 555, thank you for the coffees. And counting the day, thank you for the coffees. 555 code 2. All right, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up. Like, sometimes when I get into these, there's nothing more important than this, the final message, and like none of these other things can touch it. It's like, nah. I'm just gonna jump to disclosure here. It's fitting. We'll run these clips hinting at what's about to happen. Well, what's happened is they officially acknowledged this, that something, they've officially given an announcement of an announcement that a big one's coming, and they're going to be dumping. And somewhere along the lines by 2028, you bet you, and there's that evil ass stare. Trump's gonna pull disclosure. We got a movie coming out here shortly, and also another documentary, and there's all the stuff. I'm gonna play these clips here. Start with this one. Actually, I thought I had two here. Hold on a second. Man, I had another one. I thought it had Trump on it. Let me look here. Should have been at the top. Here.
You first on the topic of space. Do you have an update on the UFO? You first on the topic of space. Do you have an update on the UFO files and what might be when we're going to be seeing those?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. For some reason, and I guess it's just a reason that's been in the minds of people for a long time, that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material. And we're going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have. And I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe. So you're going to be reading about it, yes.
You first on the topic of space. Do you have an...
Man, he's such a con artist. He knows where this is all going with all this stuff. Eric Kirk, I'm gonna play this clip too. This is interesting.
One more thing about this, because we should just dive into this conversation about what it might be, right? Because I think that is and we address this in the film. If you have a couple of options, you're either dealing with actual UFOs and aliens, that there are created beings beyond this world that we don't understand, and there are some Christians that are comfortable with that. Or you're dealing with what she said, which is interdimensional beings. Now, that's interesting because what is an interdimensional being? Well, a demon would be an interdimensional being, essentially, right? If you believe in angels and demons and you're a Christian, that's what that would be. So one of the primary theories, and this is one that I think is probably the most prevalent among Christians right now, is that people are not actually seeing aliens that are created species outside of humans living somewhere in the universe. They're actually seeing a spiritual manifestation of something that perhaps they're seeing into the spiritual realm. And there are a number of reasons why, and I know this sounds kind of wild, but we address this in the film. The evidence for why that actually could be the case is pretty interesting, and there's some compelling arguments for it.
All glory to the Most High, King Yeshua, Jesus, the rider that returns with the sword, and that told us that if you don't have a sword, you should sell your cloak and you should go and buy one. You hear me? Those of you out there that claim you follow Jesus, read your Bibles, and he's coming back to play patty cake. Nah, he's coming back for war. That's why I dropped the video and I made it clear and I put it in it and showed you him coming down the clouds. This place getting lit up. That's what's prophesized, not some fantasy that people create, make up in their own head. He's coming back, King of Kings. Okay? He's going to come back and he's going to light this place up. That's what's coming. And you saying anything else is a lie in terms of prophecy, or you're just making something up. You're not backing prophecy. You're free to believe whatever you want, but if you're going to quote prophecy and what's written in that book, that's what's written. Okay, so don't get twisted. I see all too often anymore people, if carried on something, I don't know, from childhood they picked up or wherever they picked it up, just things they make up, things they think it's the way that it is and going to be. And it's like, what scripture says that? Like what line, what verse? Of course, they could never tell you because they never crack it open and even read it. But again, there's so many part-time, I have part-time subscribers, I hear all the time, but part-time, Christians, if you want to call it that. This is beyond Christian. This is in any Christian, Catholic, anything. This is getting straight with the Most High. Like, I don't know, all these labels I feel take away from it. Like, just walk righteous and believe in the Most High, walk righteous and do what they asked. How hard is that? If you could do that, well, I think you'd be winning. I think ultimately that on this planet, in this realm, the way it's designed, that we've come to know it and figure it out to be, is you have to be aware of what you're doing karmatically in everything that you do, because it does count and it means something. It's going to catch up to you at some point, everything that you do. So I wouldn't, I'd be wise with everything that you do, every move you make from here on. This is part of the awakening. You become more consciously aware of everything. And as I told you earlier, I pray for my enemies. Same enemies that could be creeping up on my property right now tonight trying to kill me. But what's the only power I know out there to stop it? The Most High watching everything. So I ET phone home here. I'm calling the Most High. I call home base. Anyone listening out there, we need help. SOS. Help. I believe there's someone listening, someone responding. If you believe, you know what I'm saying? Also, speaking things into existence, man, is huge. A much love to everybody out there that sharpens the sword, that practices getting better at that, because it's only going to help you and others around. No one's perfect. On these streams, I cut out all the cussing because I like to keep it that way for a couple different reasons at this point. And one is just because no one can say that, like, oh, I can't listen to your stream because you cuss. You can't say that. Yeah. Primarily, that's the main. You can't say that. Like, you may not like the way I sound or what I say or anything like that, but like, I'm dropping the truth. What I miss here? I'm just sitting there staring at this, and I forgot to give a shout out there. Ranch Boss, huge super chat, huge there, coming through tonight. I appreciate it to the fullest, man. Massive support there. Elon is not my savior. No, I'm pulling up the chat here. I'm gonna go into final thought mode here. With all this, kind of where we sit here. All right. Well, all right. I feel like a couple different things are about to happen. I feel that at some point, the strikes around Hormuz are going to pick back up. Like they told us it's going to stay locked down. You're about to see a squeeze. Look at everything we talked about. This is about to be the worst year ever for crops. Like all these records are getting shattered. There's no way that the harvest is going to be good this year. I would grow your own stuff right now, and I would take it serious. I've talked about this in the past. I've said it, but it's spring. This is the time. I would do it. And if anything, I know that if you go to a Tractor Supply right now, you're going to hear chickens, baby chickens in there chirping. That could be what saves your family's life when the event hits. There's something else, if you're going to try to keep up with them and have them. But I'm saying for the survival time, like you can't go wrong. If you got a neighbor that'll give you a couple chickens that's laying, you can't go wrong, because you get 3 or 4 good spring chickens. Like you raise them, I'm telling you, they're going to produce more eggs than you can handle. You're going to be handing them out to friends and family. You're going to feel like you're wasting. Yes, you can preserve, as Firefly was saying the other night, you can always preserve all of that. But when you get to a point where you've got like turbo abundance, like too much is like too much. Like chickens, sometimes I had it happen to me. We had it happen to us. Like the chickens just overload. Not just popping off one egg at a time, it's multiple eggs at a time. Not just one yolk, but multiple yolks at a time, which is all good and all great for survival. But I'm just saying, man, there's some simple things you could do out there just to have some peace of mind. It may suck eating eggs 3 meals a day, but hey, in trying times, I'm gonna tell you this much: if people want to find God, it goes back to the same way. You got to fast. And if you have no food, then you're going to be forced to fast. You know, people could survive for weeks without food. You just need that water. So water becomes critical. I would have water at the top of your list for survival from here. Especially, look around you. Drought. It's bad. Just look, it's bad. Water becomes a hot ticket. I don't know how you're going to survive in a place that's not allowing you to catch water. I don't. I've got good friends and good, peoples out there that are in some of these places where, they're not allowing you to collect water like legally and this and that. And I told you earlier the whole thing about the runoff from Colorado all the way down into the other states. It's about to become a water war. Like, get ready for these things. It's not going to get any better. You're talking about a government that has the ability to make it rain. You all know this. All the time, spraying and what they do. But they're not doing it right now. They're droughting the area up big time. It's I've never seen it. It's a record. And I think the weapon will persist. It's only going to hurt us more. It's only going to make things more expensive. And we've got a big reset coming ahead of us. We've got one of the biggest events, and we've got a couple of the biggest events in history that are about to happen. Kind of marinate on that a little bit. Think about that. Where you're going to be in the coming year or two. And all that as all this unfolds. As it all amplifies. And as these big events actually happen, when they roll into place, when like the reset event happens, they hold money hostage, the banking, all the banking stuff, which we know is coming. And what happens if terror attacks start happening? And what happens if this lights out happens? I mean, that's the scariest. The EMP telegraphed by so many times, more than any other thing. It's on par for being like the towers being telegraphed in movies so many times before it happened. Like that event, the EMP has been telegraphed so many times we've covered. It's nuts. All the way up to just here recently. And they actually gave us a year. Signed off. 2028. Go figure. Wouldn't have it any other way, I guess. They're going to milk Trump for all these years for as much as they could and finish it off with that. And then what? You can't hold an election. You can't hold an election. It seems rather obvious, but I never stopped to think about it like this. You can't have an election if it can EMP'd. And your Gentile Messiah, Trump, will be your president until a lot of us die in the madness of an EMP out here. He would essentially go down, if that was the death of America, and everything reset right there, so to speak, and we had to rise like the phoenix, and everything is as planned. And Atlantis, as they built it, dies and sinks as it's all planned in the cult ritual. He will go down as the last president. Because what will rise from the ashes will not be the United States of America no more. It will be history. A thing of the past. This will probably be the North American Union. this whatever degree, including all these other places they've threatened at that point. If we get EMP'd, forget boundaries. When this whole because just think about it. I've ran the simulation, and you got to really think about it now. I've refrained from talking about this and over the more recent years in great detail because I didn't really feel in my heart that anything was imminent. And I'm going to say this. I was given like a crazy wild vision a while back of, I had a misread on it, but it came clear to me what it meant on the day that it all happened here recently. I have a lot going on with me in my life. It's a mystery in my health. And on the day that I came back from a doctor, actually, I came in and I was dealing with EMP stuff. And I was just like having all these like thoughts and visions, and like a date had jumped out at me. And it was a 4/24/26. And I actually wrote it on my board. And I was like, oh my God. And I feared. There was only two things. And it was obviously, it's the one thing that was the scariest at the time was the EMP. I just assumed, which was the wrong read. I assumed that it had to do with the EMP. Which the other major thing that was on my mind that I was dealing with the whole time was my health. Well, lights didn't go out on 4/24, obviously. But what did happen is, and I didn't even know it until like last minute, and it happened. Like I had a doctor's appointment and went, and the doctor's appointment changed everything. Not for the good, but it gave me answers, and to a degree, it changes everything. Imagine walking around for a decade being a mystery, and I actually had multiple MRIs and had a doctor for the first time in my life pray over me here recently over this, and gave me this whole speech. No one wants to be a mystery, but I'm the mystery. And even after going to all that and even more, I'm still the mystery. And but I ruled out what I'm not. Let's just put it that way. And you keep going down the list of everything you think of out there that something could be. It gets crazy. So I'm in God's hands, man. You live life to the fullest until it's over. What else can you do? You cry about it. I'm out of tears, man. I'm mission based. And I'd rather my soul's gonna exit and go to the other side. I would want to know that I went out all out. I would hope that God gives me time to do some things. I still got some tricks up my sleeve here. There's some things within this next year. If I can do it and pull it off, there's some big things I'm gonna plan to do. And like I don't care at this point. I've told you many times they want to come. If they want to come and try to remove me from this life, they can do it. They can do whatever. But before, I can't give it away. Let's just say if you had a chance to do something to cement you, to like do something legendary, and you could do it, but you knew that if you did it, but as with anything, there's consequence. Would you bitch out or would you do it? I would do the legendary, and I'm going to. That's the only thing I can tell you. So, whenever it happens, it happens. And no, I'm not going to harm a soul. So, don't go trying to say, oh, he's going to go. No, it's nothing to do with hurting a soul. It has everything to do with knowledge. And that's all that counts. Because once you drop the big bomb, it'll be over. It'll be over. And I just can't say anything else because it cut it short. It may not even let it happen. So just let things be and soak up everything. Enjoy every day. You got friends and family, every moment, every nice day under the sun. And walk righteous. Fight the good fight, man. Something else is watching. Remember, people have exited this place in the flesh. They've not died. It's on record. Not died. Some could still achieve that. You get snatched up in the flesh. People have. But what makes you special enough to do that? That's my thing. I feel like I'm here like a last call. Anybody listening? Anybody want to leave? Anybody want to ride out of here? You better shape up if you want to ship out. That's the motto that you will see on the door. I'm telling you, it's on you. It always has been. It goes back to what I told you earlier. People can't sin all the time doing evil and think they're going to be just walk right into heaven. Ain't working like that. Yes, you can be forgiven of mistakes you've done. Of course, we've all sinned, right? We all did this, all told lies, all did, all these little things in your life that you're not proud of. But you know in your heart it was a mistake and it was bad, right? Right? Yeah, you get forgiven for that. Of course. You learn from that, right? What I'm talking about is people that just repetitively keep sinning and doing evil. That is not forgiven by no means ever. And there's no excuse for it. You'll never, there's not. You're not going to get anywhere doing it, in my opinion. You're not going to make it out of here. There's a way out, actually. It's not to get all mushy. It's not to get all religious. But it is spiritual. There's no other way around it. There's an element to this place that's more important than anything. I told you earlier, it's the other side. It's right here. You can't see it. Imagine if you could see, just for a glimpse of a second, just a second, the whole pantheon of angels that are sitting here around you, like anything and everything. Most people couldn't handle something like that. I mean, because if you would see demons, the jinn all sit in the same realm. Like they're all in the ether. But if you knew their existence and you were taught what they were and everything else and the rules to the game, you wouldn't fear it. You wouldn't think, oh, they're demons. No, they're spirit forces of entities that actually lived in this world, and they were called the Nephilim. And you're missing out on a whole lot if you're just skipping all this, because some of us have figured out how this whole place works. That's why from here, it's about becoming what I call the exorcist wizard. It's what I'm going to morph into if I have it my way before it's all said and done. I'm going to do what Jesus said. I'm going to go on to do greater things than he. I'm going to test it. Why not? Why not? And he said it. It's because you can control all of this through speaking it into existence. And you are the special one. You are the chosen one. You really are. You are the creation that is more powerful than the lizard, than the gray alien, or whatever you want to call all these entities. You are. It's written, and they can't stand it. I've said it over and over. You're given a power over them. Okay? You can control them. And you can do so with the name of Jesus. So something dawned on me. And it's obvious because it's right there in front of you. But no one's doing it. No good wizards are out here acting. And I say it's time. And someone's like, oh no, that's dark magic. You're not supposed to do nothing. You're scared of your own shadow, is what you are. And like, you go believe what you want to believe. But I'm going to believe what the Lord told me, that I could do what he did and more. And I'm going to do it. If you think it's magic or this and that and this, well, then you just don't believe. I'm doing what he said. And I can control demons in his name because he said I can. And he said I can do it ultra fine. If I fast, he gives me secrets on how to do it. If you care and you listen. And if that's the case, there's secrets to the game. We know this. Look at Solomon. He was given the keys. You can actually control these demons and do whatever you want. But guess what? You can't do bad with them. Has to be good. Has to be good. Has to be good. Think about that. All the demons in this world. Imagine you command them to do good. Exactly as Jesus would say, or flee. You command them. When you're telling them to flee a body, you're commanding them. Do you understand? People don't get twisted. Don't get nothing twisted. It's the truth. You speak it all into existence. You command it because you are the power. So you run these jinn out, the demon out of a weak person and off of them because you have the power. Because you command them. Do you understand this? Don't get it twisted. That means you have the power to command them to do anything. Do you understand this? If you know their name. Do you understand? And I told you before, this is why, for anyone out there, it can be dangerous when someone knows your real name. These are rules to the game. You may be like scoffing at it because you don't understand it, but this is how it works, whether you like it or not. Okay? So, there's really nothing to scoff at here. You have the Most High telling you you have a power and ability, and I'm trying to awaken you to it. You can exercise your demons. There's a reason for these things. You can get them doing jumping jacks for the righteous cause, right? It's written, and Jesus told you you can do so. So, as far as I'm concerned, I command them. I mean, it makes you wonder, right? We're going to put this to test. Then I command, if it can only be good. Could you imagine if I went out and someone put this to test and it was real? And you could get the demons to stand in front of you underwater, and you stepped on their heads. You would walk on water, so to speak. Just to give you an example. Now, is that for the good? I don't know. Does that permit? I don't know. See, there's rules to the game here. And when you read the Testament of Solomon, it lays it all out clear that every step he made had to be righteous. God made sure of it if you skipped all that. And as soon as he screwed up, though, he got burned. That's the whole reason for the story, the whole moral of the story, right? If you don't know it, then you just don't learn it. Of course, they stripped this out of all your basic Bible with Enoch and the Testament of Solomon. These are literally in the Book of Giants and Jubilees. You need them all. When you plug them in, it's the missing puzzle pieces, and it tells you all this. It tells you all this now. In the beginning, to save you a lot of time on this journey, you don't have all this. It's taken all these years to get to this point. And to say, all right, look what we got. Look where we're at. We have all this now. Because in the beginning, you're just given a Bible, right? It's you don't have no clue about none of this stuff. What's the Book of Enoch? What's the Book of Jubilee? What's the Book of all this, right? But when you finally have it all consumed, which I do, it like unlocks you. Like you see the reality of this place. How it's constructed. Because they told you. They just so happened to strip it, most of it out of the basic Bible. But when you glue it all together, it's obvious. It's right there. And I tell you, everything I tell you is true. So, the moral of this is you're a powerful being, And I will leave you tonight just knowing this, that don't say anything bad about yourself ever. It's forbidden. Okay? Don't say that you can't do anything. Don't say, I'm sick of anything. Do you hear me? And I want you to start there. And I want you to do this and practice this and catch yourself and correct yourself and fix it. You can also start speaking positive mantras into your life as soon as you wake up every day, before you reach for the cell phone, before you let the frequency of the world get in. You can immediately start speaking these positive things. And the whole trick to all this, the secret, is truly believing. Because when you believe it, you speak it into existence, you collapse that reality down around you. Do you understand this? You get keys. It's time you go put them to use. You have tools now. Or you can sit there and just leave them sit on the counter. It's time to make moves, man. We have abilities out here that's beyond. Part of this is just fighting back, being aware. Knowing is half the battle. Why did they say it? Well, there you go. Just knowing it, being aware of the construct of what's going on. That this place is actually made where demons are sitting around you and tempting you every day. And it's made that way. It's not a saying. It's not a guess. It's not and you shouldn't ignore it. It's made that way. Anyone saying anything else is lying. Well, how do you know this? Go educate them. Let's go crack your Bible. Some people are so far behind, they may not have a chance. But if you really want to get out of here, you'll see that this is how it is. So I wish you luck. Much love. Salutes pure bloods. This has caveats. With everything I just said, you know what tribulation is? Tribulation. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. I gotta go back and read. I gotta check timelines here. This ain't good, dude. A crazy vision. Oh, my. Well, they're releasing something. I don't know if this is the key coming down. I don't know if this is the abyss. What's coming out of it, the locust. I don't know what's happening here. But I equate it to... It all makes sense. I equate it to, the jinn. Who else would it be? Who else was locked up? It was them. Who was locked in the abyss? It was them. Oh, no. Now you want to know why tribulation's going to be so wild? Oh my God. Moses came out and they could not handle the jinn. They were too much. He prayed to God. God sent down Michael and the archangels, and they took 9/10 of the jinn and they stuck them, like I told you, Ghostbusters, in a chamber in the abyss. Them. Why did they do it to begin with? Because this place was so crazy. It's like they're going to release them again. And if you have that much, if you have 9/10, if you have the other 9/10 released for a short time back at, oh no. Now we know. Thank you. Hallelujah. That is a full circle vision from the Most High. That's exactly what is happening. Look, man, I wish you luck. I'm cutting this thing down. Taking this out of here. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Much love. released the djinn. That's what it is. That's what it is. The angel falls with the key to the bottomless pit. They released the djinn. I don't know if people can handle it. I don't know if will the world be able to handle it. You cannot, if you can't tolerate the evil that's here now, can you imagine it? Like 9 times greater. 9 times greater evil than right now. Wild days ahead. Much love. God bless. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for all the love and support.